Tim Collins with Cullman Today with Senator Paul Bussman. Senator, it's the final week. It's week 12 down in Montgomery. It's over. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good. It was a long session. We didn't take a break in the middle of it. And when that happens, when we start having 3-day weeks where we do legislation for 3 days, the motions get up, and it was a very tough last 3 or 4 days. But we got everything done. We needed to get done. And I'm very pleased with the 2018 session.
Well, I think that's obvious because I remember our previous 2 years, 17, 16, I'd come in here and you were beaten up. It was brutal. This year's been much different. You seem almost like you're overjoyed by what's happened.
Well, first thing is the leadership decided not to put a whole lot of stuff that's controversial on any of the calendars, and that makes a big difference. When you don't have something that's controversial, people get along, people work together, and people do what they're supposed to do. When you start getting the controversial bills in there, then people start getting off in corners and they start getting mad at each other, and that gets to be a problem. But this time we didn't have any of that. The Senate worked extremely smoothly. I was very surprised that we didn't have problems in the Senate this year. It went very smooth.
Now, you had your name on, almost a dozen and a half bills. Before I get into the successes and failures of those bills, let's talk about the thing that tried to slip through and actually made its way through at the end. You voted no, but I've talked to a lot of people in the last 24 hours who are upset about it. It has to do with something very arcane about economic development, and I'm not sure I understand it.
Well, it's not really hard to explain to me. It's simply a matter of whether we're going to have ethics in this state or not, whether we're going to abide by the ethics laws or not. And this bill came up very quickly. This bill had a tremendous amount of urgency. And anytime a bill has a lot of urgency and dies once and dies twice and keeps coming back and keeps coming back, and the push to try to get something done always makes me wonder. What we're passing here that's under the surface that we can't see. I mean, when we've had Mike Hubbard, you've had Mickey Hammonds, you've had Oliver Robinson, you've had Governor Bentley, all are in trouble with the ethics laws. There is no way I'm going to vote for something that would even possibly weaken the ethics laws in the state of Alabama. We need to strengthen those ethics laws. We need to make them where people that do wrong go to jail. And I'm not going to be a part of anything that weakens the ethics laws or even looks like we're weakening the ethics laws.
Well, it was a super close 15-14 vote in the Senate. Kay Ivey, I think, supported the bill, but you voted no. That's a big headwind to go against.
Well, it is. And like I said, when it got to the voting time, my gut told me that something is not right. My gut told me that something is wrong, that we're doing something for somebody that we don't know anything about. My gut told me that somebody is in trouble, that is trying to get off. I don't know who that is, and I may never know who that is, but my gut told me that we are not going to weaken the ethics laws and let somebody walk on something that could possibly be a criminal activity.
Gotcha. Well, let's move to the bills that you had your hand and fingerprints on. The first one, I think is the most important for you, is the Interlock driving under the influence bill that passed.
Yeah, we finally got that passed on I think it may have been the last bill to pass the House, or if not the last, it was the second to last. It will definitely save lives in Alabama. We have a very big problem with repeat offenders driving on the highways that are drunk. We have a death rate because of drunk driving that continues to increase. In Mississippi, they put in this type of a law with the Interlock, and the death rate in Mississippi is starting to drop. And I feel very comfortable with this new Interlock system that requires first-time offenders to go on an Interlock. I feel very comfortable that we'll see in the next 5 years, we'll see a tremendous drop in the number of deaths because of drunk driving in the state of Alabama. And to me, that's huge. It could be my child, it could be your child, it could be your family member or friend, and it's time we stop that. This can be stopped.
And as soon as that gets signed off on by the governor, it becomes law, right?
It does, and hopefully she's going to sign that pretty quickly. I don't think there's going to be any issues with that, but the main thing is we're going to get drunk drivers off the road. We're going to make drunk drivers use the Interlock system to prove that they're sober before they get behind the wheel of a car, and that to me just makes common sense.
Let's talk about what's next. You gave a pay raise to the teachers.
Had a really good session this time. We had we had the prison issue that was in front of us with the lawsuit. We had added additional money into the prison system to handle that situation. That was a big deal. Teachers got pay raises, state employees got pay raises for the first time in way too long. Our retirees got one lump sum bonus payments. That is a big deal. We had tremendous success with the broadband issue with rural broadband. We're providing grants for companies that will expand into areas that they would not ordinarily expand in, and those are rural areas, and those are businesses for people, and that's going to be a huge advantage to the people in rural Alabama. We did a lot of things with income tax. We gave an income tax break for those that are on the lower end of the scale, which is a tremendous help to them. And so all in all, it was a very good session. We got a lot of good things done. We didn't have a whole lot of controversial stuff done, but we took care of the business the people needed us to. We got the 2 budgets passed, probably the best budgets we've had since I've been in office in 2010. And so things are looking up, and as long as we continue to prioritize right with the budgets, we're going to do fine.
And on a local level, we did some good things. We've got I-65 is going to finally get unroughed. Tell us about that.
Well, I talked to Aldot again this morning. I get phone calls on a regular basis. People that travel back and forth to Birmingham, and people that travel from Cold Springs area into Birmingham. People that travel from Dodge City, Hanceville. That road's been messed up for a long time. They milled that road 4, 5, 6 months ago. And so my concern was, when was it going to get done? And we found out this morning that the temperature on the road has to be 60 degrees at night. And so the contractor is planning on being on site April the 16th, and they'll start that night work starting April 16th, and they will continue till it's done. The rest area is also going to be repaved, but they'll do that during the daytime. So I'm excited that over the next couple months that's going to get resurfaced, and we can quit busting windshields and quit having that really, really rough travel between here and Blount County.
Yes, that'll be good for everybody who drives 65. Also, you got one of my favorite things done. The coroner got a raise.
Coroner got a raise. We got the jail food bill solved. The county commission and the sheriff got together and they worked out the compromise on that. So now we have an auditable account that we can see where that money's going. The sheriff is not going to have that personal income anymore. He did get a small pay raise to compensate, but we're very, very comfortable with that. I'm just glad that all the parties came together and we finally got that solved.
So I have one last question on this whole session. Would you say this is the most successful session the Senate's had while you've been in office?
I would say yes, but again, I have to have the caveat that we didn't do a whole lot of controversial stuff either. But as far as getting stuff done that we had to get done, it was a very good session, probably the best we've had long term as far as start to finish. We got done early. We got done 4 or 5 days early, which saves the state hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so all of that is good.
Well, one last question has nothing to do with the session. You now get to run for office, and I realized that being in Montgomery, you had time to get out on the streets and hit it, but time is now. What are your thoughts there?
Well, when I'm in Montgomery, I have said many times, people say that they haven't seen me around lately, and I tell them my responsibility for this last month, 2 months, 3 months has been doing the people's business and doing the business that I'm required to do and I was elected to do. And that's what I've done. I've spent full time down at Montgomery like I'm supposed to. I didn't take off any time in Montgomery to campaign. Now it's time to campaign, and I look forward to doing that. I look forward to get out with the people and telling them what we've done. I have a very hard time bragging. I don't like that. I don't like doing that, but I'm going to go out and tell the people what I've done. I'm going to go out and tell the people why I asked them to vote for me. And hopefully at that point they'll realize that we're doing a good job, and they'll agree with me that we're doing a good job, and they'll reelect me, and we'll go back and continue to work for the people of this district.
Well, I guess I do have one additional final question. What are you going to tell them? Why should they vote for you?
I've been very conservative. I've been the most conservative senator in the state Senate. We have fought taxes completely. We have continued to break the gas tax mode that people want to continue to raise everybody's gas tax. We fought the folks that want to come in and change our gun laws. We're not changing the gun laws because people from the outside want us to change our Second Amendment. We're not doing that. I've helped individuals in my district, and one of the things that I feel most strongly about is the individuals that call me that need help and that I've helped, and there's been hundreds of those people. And those are the ones that I don't go out and talk about, and I won't go out and talk about, but those are the ones that when they call me and they have a problem with something in state government, that I'm able to help them and I'm able to get them through that situation. And those are the things that make me proud, and those are the things that I'm going to talk about as we get out on the campaign trail.
Senator, thanks for talking to me.
Appreciate y'all doing this. This has been I always enjoy doing this weekly, and I appreciate you coming and doing this with us, and I think it's very valuable to the citizens of this district.
Well, that's why we started this in the first place. I mean, the public deserves to know, and often they don't ever know, and this is a way to bridge that gap.
Absolutely.
Senator, thanks for talking to me.
You're welcome.